Greetings and welcome to my channel. My name is Skylar Rain Mustaine. I'm a psychological associate registered in the state of California. Welcome to my channel, The Psychologist. Now, one of the interesting phenomenon about how popular culture thinks about psychology is, first of all, there is a difference between psychiatrists and psychologists, whereas a psychiatrist is more of an analyst into chemical balance, whereas as a psychologist, I do not have the medical schooling to diagnose, refer, give advice on medication. And another misconception about psychology is people think of a psychologist as a shrink or that analysis component. Whereas, interestingly enough, I am trained in not analyzing and not putting somebody in a box because of their skin tone or their height or their ability or disability level, or their gender or their romantic love interests, and so on and so forth. And really, what I'm trained to do is to let an individual surprise me by who they are, not who I think they are. By who they are, not who society has told them they are. And in reality, in modern Western culture, there's not a lot of time for people to allow somebody else to be themselves. And so there's a form of efficiency that happens in putting somebody in a box. And you can also feel powerful over somebody. I know that there's been a lot of use of the word narcissist recently to characterize an injurious, somebody who socially injures other people by their self-centeredness. And in doing so, in calling somebody a narcissist, it feels powerful. It makes this like weird phenomenon, complicated phenomenon, feel understandable, that I have power over this person because I put him in this box. When in reality, everybody has narcissistic qualities, and it can be a virtue to have one level or another of narcissism, but it can eventually reach a critical mass in which it is hard to navigate social situations because there's so much imbalance of narcissism, which it could be any sort of personality trait. If it is really, really, really strong, it can disrupt a relational field. It can disrupt the gravity within a social environment. And any sort of outlier can create that. If somebody who's 8 foot tall walks into a social environment, it will be disruptive. If an adult is 2 feet tall, it's gonna disrupt a social environment. If somebody's really, really stinky, or really, really attractive, or really, really unattractive, or really, really loud, or super shy, any sort of outlier can create some sort of disruption or intrigue. And so ultimately the training that I've received is to allow somebody to be themselves. And that's a gift that I can give somebody, because it's really hard to allow ourselves to be ourselves within ourselves, let alone around other people. And so I'm just kind of broaching some common misconceptions of what psychology is and what psychology isn't. And thanks for listening, and I hope you have a happy new year 2026. Thanks.